Hello guys, so today we are looking at another tutorial and looking at another problem in JavaScript, JavaScript interview question, which is how to reverse an integer. The last time we looked at how to reverse a string, but this time we are looking at how to reverse an integer. So let's see the question. The question says, given an integer, return an integer that is reversed order. So I'm going to paste the question and then an example of what is expected. So this is the question. Given an integer, return an integer that is the reverse order of the number. So if we have 15, we are expecting 51. If we have 981, you're expecting this. If you have this, you're expecting this. If you have minus, let's say minus 15, expect to get minus 51. You have minus 90, you expect to get, if you reverse it, you have to, that will be minus 9, not minus 09. So you're expected to return this. So let's look at how we can solve this problem. So we know how to reverse a string. If you haven't watched that, you can, I'll attach it to this video. You can go and watch that first. So we will also probably are going to be implementing using the technique we use for reversing a string, but this time remember is an integer. So we have to take into account the sign, negative or positive there, you know. So this is what we have to take, you have to take note of. So let's look at it. Let's create a start solving this problem. So function reversed int receives n. So we can. So the first thing we want to do is reverse it. So let's say rev, which stands for reversed, be equals to n. So to reverse a string, last time remember we had to split it, but this is a number, so we can't just split it because it is not a string. So we have to first convert it to a string. So we do to string, and then we can now split it. Split individually, and then we can reverse it since it is now an array. When we use split on on a string, it turns it to array of individual character. So let's take a look at that. If you console.log reversed int, let's just put 1 2 3 4, and let's return this first of all. Remember, we have not yet completed it. We just want to see what split does. Return ref. Let's call it here node test. You can see it turns it to an array, splits it by individual character. Remember, we've converted it to a string, so we split it to an individual character and converts it to an array. So that is what split does. So this is now an array, so we can now apply array method on it, which is, there's one array method which is the reverse method, which will reverse an array to return an array with the reverse, of its value. So we can say dot reverse. So see this. If we run this, you see we get. Can you see? Get the reverse of this array. So now that we've reversed it, we need to convert it back to an integer. We need to join it back together because this is an array. We don't want an array. So to do that, we use join method. Remember, array method join, which we join all of them together into a string. So we can do dot join. So join receives what you want to join it by. Since it is an array, we don't need to put anything there to automatically join all of them, using the comma, so it will join everything together. So let's just see. You can see, but if we console log the type, so I'm going to do this and say type of here. Save it. You can see it is string. We don't want string, we want integer because it's integer we are given. So to do that, we need to convert it back to an integer. So we can easily use int to convert it to an integer. But you must also remember the sign, negative or positive. So if we convert it to an integer, this will go. But imagine we have a minus 1, 2, 3, and we run this, we get positive. Even if we use int and it is negative, we are supposed to return the sign also with it. So what we can do is we can take note of the sign, by checking it. If it is, we can use an if statement. So here we can say if rev is less than 0, which tells us it's negative. So if rev is less than 0, that means it is negative. Then we want to return the int of rev multiply by, because it is negative, so we want to turn it to negative. And to turn a number to negative, you multiply it by minus 1. So we just multiply by minus 1 here. And then I like using this type of if because it shortens our code. You can use the normal if, but you remember you have to look for a way to work faster in whatever you're doing. You can use this and say else, else return int like this, or else return int without times it by minus 1. This is also correct, but we have how many lines of code now? Just this if statement is taking 5 lines of code. So you want to reduce that as much as possible. So most of the time what I do is I use a single line if statement, which is this. And then for the else, you can just say else return int. As simple as that. So we've completely solved this problem now. So if you can see it's returning number, and let's pass the minus sign and see if it returns the minus sign with it now. It's not returning. minus. Okay, that's because, let me see what's the problem here. We have a problem here. Minus rev less than zero. If yeah, this is less than zero, then let me return here. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Oh, I see. This should not be rev here. So this should be n. You should check the number that is sent directly, because remember this is a number, this is a string here. This is still a string that has been joined together. So we are checking it against the number that was passed into the function. So this should be it. So this should give us the correct answer now. You can see now have the minus sign here. And if we remove it, we also get, you know, the plus sign. So don't forget to change this back to pass int so that you can convert it. Make sure you don't make that mistake when you are solving that problem. So you can see this is the solution. But let's take a look. Is there a way we can condense this even more? You know, this is now we have 4 lines of code. Can we compress it? We can definitely compress it into one. That's possible. You know, we can use another function. Let's try another function. reverseInt 2, let's call it 2, and then we can just return join pass int first of all, we need to check if n is less than 0. If n is less than 0, that means it is negative. Then we want to multiply this by -1 multiplied by -1, else pass int so let's call it a. This should give us the same. I hope I didn't make, but the catch with making it a single line is that you see there's a lot of moving, there's a lot of little parts that are joined together here. So there's a possibility for you to make an error. The possibility is high for you to make an error is high using this single line method for this problem. So let's try to solve it. You can see what I'm saying. We are already having problems here. So we're going to, okay. So let's pass in negative and see if we get that back. You can see. So but instead of using this, you can just split it into two lines. You can use something like this. Now instead of using times -1, you can use math.sign. So this tutorial is already taking long, so I'm just going to paste the solution. You can use this solution also. So I'm going to call this 3, and then I'm going to run it. You see that it will give us the same answer. So you can see. So that has brought us to the end of the tutorial. Kindly like and subscribe to my channel for more tutorial like this. See you next time.